So example 11 now. Graph them. So we need to graph these two circle graphs. And let's see what we get. This one is done. There's no need to move it in parentheses or anything because basically what this is saying is it's x plus 0 squared and y plus 0 squared. So this one's done. What this means is so that means that the center is 0, 0, and when you square root 25, that means the radius will be 5. So we know where the center and the radius is of this one. With this one, this side is at least done. This is saying you have x plus 0 again. Just like this one. This one's done. It's like saying you have x plus 0 squared. So you know that the center at x is 0, but we need to use completing the squares to figure this side out. So let's b over 2 squared. So we do negative 4 divided by 2, which is negative 2 squared, and negative 2 squared is 4. So we need to add 4 to both sides. So I added a 4 to this side, added a 4 to that side. And whatever's in the parentheses is going to be your factor. So this right here turns into y minus 2 squared. So we actually have x squared plus y minus 2 squared, and that will equal 16. So the center of this is going to be 0 and the opposite, which is 2. So it's 0, 2, and the radius is going to be 4, because when you square root 16, you get 4.
You're gonna end up eating a steady diet of government cheese and
So then we need to plot them. So the center is 0, 0. The radius, I go out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that side. And I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. And 5 down and 5 over, and there is my circle. And then with the next one, it's 0, 2 is the center, so there's 0, 2. And then the radius is 4, so 1, 2, 3, there's 4 up and 4 over. So 4 from the center, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it crosses here and here.
it's the Mattel Thunderbird with the real.
So first, the graphing Calc can only graph in terms of y, so you need to solve the graphs for y. So this is the first graph solved for y. And this one, to solve it for y, I need to subtract an x squared. I square root both sides, so I get y minus 2 equals plus or minus square root of 16 minus x squared. I need to add a 2 to both sides. So here are my actual 4 graphs, which means I'm going to graph the square root of 25 minus x squared, negative square root of 25 minus x squared. I'm going to graph 2 plus the square root of 16 minus x squared, and 2 minus the square root of 16 minus x squared. Those are my graphs. And keep in mind, this is actually 4 graphs to graph on the calculator. So now that you have your 4 graphs, graph them on the same graph. So we're going to graph them all on the same graph. So square root 25 minus x squared, and make sure you put an end parentheses there, and negative square root of 25 minus x squared. Then try graphing 2 plus the square root of 16 minus x squared, and 2 minus the square root of 16 minus x squared. And we graph them all to see what the graphs look like. Then after you do that, press second graph and go to intersection again. And we're going to see if we can figure out where those points are, where they cross. So second trace will give you the calc. Go down to number 5, which is intersection. Make sure you put the cursor close to those intersection points, though. It needs to be close to the intersection. If it's not, then it's not going to give you a good estimate. So you have to make it go as far and as close as you can get it to go. And when we do that, I get negative 3.8 and 3.25 and 3.8, 3.25.
I wanted to see my secret now.
So, the hardest part is graphing. That's going to be most of the examples, graphing the equations. So if you have any problems or concerns, look to the example section here so we can get most of the graphs graphed as circles. If you have any other questions or concerns, like I said, just turn to the examples. That'll be mostly dealing with circles, okay, and graphing them and finding centers and radiuses and such.